Hello everyone! In this video we're going to be building a starter home using the new Lovestruck expansion pack and the base game, so this is going to be a limited pack build. And I am very excited about this one because I really wanted this to be for a family, and I also wanted it to be kind of small, so it is technically a 3-tier tiny home, so you have some benefits of having a tiny home, but not all of them. So, you know, the last tier that is still a tiny home. It's very close to being a tier 2 tiny home, but that was something that I wasn't able to do, and my priority was mainly the price and just having this as a limited pack build, so I ended up deciding that I didn't care that much about having this be a better tiny home or not, because I wasn't using any items from Tiny Living anyway. So I really wanted to use this very cool wall texture, and I also really wanted to have a red ceiling because that's the color that ceilings are here most often. And I also wanted to use this new door, and it kind of bothers me that there isn't a swatch that has some glass, because this is a door that you would normally have in front of a solid door so that you could have some airflow, but you would still have security. But what I did was that I used this new window that is meant to be used in the shower, and there's some swatches of it that are frosted glass, so I think that's very cool that it matches the door perfectly, both in color, size, and that you can also decide whether or not you want it to be frosted glass or completely see-through. So I thought that was the most realistic thing here, and I was also very happy that I was able to use these windows. These are making me so happy because I have just returned from a trip to Mexico City, and I did my best to gather as much inspiration as I could. So I was really paying attention to a lot of the buildings, and I did really see a bunch of them having these exact same windows, which I thought was the coolest thing ever. So I was very, very excited to use them. And I did take my laptop on the trip, but it wasn't great. I did try to record stuff there, and it just didn't really work out that well. So I'm having a bit of a late upload, but I hope that this new week I'm going to be able to have all my uploads as normal. And as I said, I am very, very inspired to build in this style and in this world, and I am seeing so many similarities with the streets that I was visiting and all the things that I was seeing. So yeah, this really is my dream world and my dream expansion pack. I do wish that it had some more lots and that it had some more items so that there was more of the same style, because sometimes it feels like there isn't enough of everything. There's a bunch of stuff in the base game that actually matches the Mexican things. So, for example, those tiles that I'm using in the kitchen are base game, and I have always seen them as perfect for Mexican kitchens. But as a whole, I do wish that there were a bit more things, but at the same time I feel that I would have felt that way about everything. I always want more. But I'm working on a video in which I'm going to be reviewing this world and the items that it comes with, so I'm going to be giving some context as to what some of the items are and how they are used, because I did see like some confusion. For example, with that door, I have seen it used without any like glass or another door, so I think that's a bit strange because there's rain. And some people think of it as some sort of desert world, when Mexico City really is anything but a desert. It's not a jungle either, but there's a lot of rain in there, so it is completely different, even though you will find a bunch of cacti in there. So I did use some cacti in this build, so yeah, I thought that it would be cool, and I also just really want to collect my thoughts in one place, and I do think that it could be cool to have that context for builds, so I do hope to have that sometime soon. Hopefully I am going to be including some pictures that I've taken so that I can better illustrate my thoughts and what some of these things are. But I have been talking a bunch, and I haven't been really mentioning anything that I've been doing here in the speed build. So we have already done the kitchen and the living room, as well as the main bedroom. And things are going to change a bit because I wanted to have a 2-bedroom house. So this is going to be bigger, and I am also going to be rearranging some stuff. So you can see that this bathroom is going to get a lot larger, and now there's going to be an actual like shower nook. So I think that's a lot more realistic. I don't really see any wet rooms here, but I was thinking that it was probably going to be necessary, but thankfully it wasn't, so I am just sectioning it off with a low-lying fence and just adding this curtain. And I don't think that I'm going to be keeping this mirror because it's not the most expensive, but I was running out of money and I really wanted to make sure that I could fit 4 Sims in this space. Also, I really like the kitchen, but I'm going to have to be moving it into this main living area. And I did playtest this. The Sims are still going to be able to get to this room, but it might not be the best looking. I did get rid of that table and chairs and replaced it with the new bar height table and the bar stools. So I thought that made a lot more sense, even though there isn't enough seating for all of the Sims that would be living in this house if there's 4 Sims. But I think that this house being this small and it being in such a large lot, it made sense to have it like this for the start of your gameplay or whatever if you're going to download it, which you will be able to do if you look for it under my ID, which is Verani. It's going to be in the gallery, and I will also have that link down in the description. And it does come close to 20,000 simoleons. It's like 19,200. But I think that you should be able to get some more money soon after you get it, or if you move in with just 1 Sim, you could get rid of some of the other furniture. But if you move in with 3 or more Sims, you should be able to have enough money to make some renovations, to extend the house, or whatever you need to do. You could change the furniture and get some that is a bit better looking, and I think that as a starting point this is perfect, and it should still be pretty functional to play in it for a while, so I thought that I did a good job on that. Even if it isn't the cutest, I do think that it looks nice. And this bedroom is going to change a bit. I don't keep that closet, and I ended up having bunk beds. And at first I was going to be using this toy chest as a bedside table, but I ended up changing the placement of the bed, so it doesn't actually work as a bedside table, but I don't think that it should be an issue. There are Sims, they don't actually need bedside tables, it's just for the looks. And also, if you wanted to extend this room, you would be able to just add that in later. But one of my favorite things that I did in this bedroom was to add these posters. I added the torn version of them, so it is not the best looking, but you could very easily change that swatch of them. And here in the upstairs bedroom, I wanted to have some more decoration and stuff. I really wanted to add the costume chest and also this very cool fluffy rug. It looks so nice and cozy, and the swatch is perfect. It goes great with the bed. And I also added some artwork, which I really love that painting. I think that it looks great, and I have seen so many paintings similar to that, and to have one in The Sims is such a cool thing. But I also wanted to have a desk. I was noticing that I was still having a very cheap house, so I added the cheapest desk I could that looked decent. And so there's a computer, which I think is pretty cool. And I also added some graffiti, which I really enjoyed. I think that it makes the house look cheaper. All of these areas look very, very nice. There's nothing like that you would think looks cheaper. So I'm just thinking about how this does look like Mexico, but like the nicer, more expensive parts of Mexico, like the most romantic parts of Mexico, which makes sense. And I do appreciate. But sometimes when you want to build something like this, I do wonder if it looks out of place. But I think that right now I am just changing some stuff to make sure that everything looks finished and that I am not running out of money, so I did have to change that mirror. But I am also painting this wall so that it looks a bit less cold, I think. It's very normal for houses here to be painted white and to have no wallpaper, although wallpaper did used to be kind of popular. So I thought that having an accent wall would make some sense, and I also decided that it was time to work on the outside, so I did add the water tower. I added one from debug so it would be cheaper. And those normally go on the rooftop of houses so that gravity helps with water pressure. and I just really love to have that item. I do wish we had a gas tank. I think that would have been really cool. And things like an electricity, I don't know what that's called. But you know that thing with the needles that tells you how much electricity you have spent? But I am very, very happy to have the water tower. I think that adds so much realism, and anyway, those things would have been just decorative anyway, so I don't really mind that. But anyway, I am only using debug landscaping from the base game and Lovestruck. This planter is from the base game, but I think most of these plants are from Lovestruck. And this kind of like plant pot is from the base game, as is this tree that I am adding inside of it, and that other planter that I added. Oh, and I really wanted to add this very cool like number plaque to the house. That was one of the things that when I saw it in the trailer I was the most excited about. I just saw that and I thought that it was just going to change everything for me. I do see a lot of these, not only on houses but also for sale. I also wanted to have a swing set in here, and I also decided that this door would look a lot better if it was black. So I changed the swatch of it and also the swatch to the balcony door. One other thing that I really liked about using this window trick is that it's still functional, and if you are inside a house you can only see the glass on one side and then there's the metal, which I thought was really realistic. And if it doesn't look like that, you can just change the orientation of the door and it will work just fine. Oh, and one other thing that I did was that I decided to add in some of these more colorful tiles that still match the tile that I was using everywhere. And that's going to be it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will have some more Mexican inspired content coming to the channel, so stay tuned for that, and I hope to see you soon.